Manila's geography is incredibly complex and unique in the world, but three simple features dictate everything here. First is the island of Luzon, the island where Manila sits. Luzon itself is a powerhouse. As you see, is the fourth most populated island in the world, only behind Java, Honshu, and Great Britain. Luzon holds a population of 71 million, and the biggest city is Manila. And as you see, Luzon is this long island. It stretches very thin on this southeast end, and then it gets wider as you go north. And finally, in the very north, it gets very mountainous. The second feature is the Pasig River. From its source, from the Laguna de Bay, which is this one, it meanders all across this flatland until it empties into the third feature, which is the Manila Bay. This gigantic body of water spans across hundreds of square miles. This deep water harbor connects all the sea lanes that go across the South China Sea and protects them from the worst of the storms that also frequent this part of the ocean. This location is so strategic that it was almost impossible to ignore for the many empires that ruled this land across the centuries. And so, the city of Manila was born right at the spot where the waters of the Pasig River meet the deep salty water of the Manila de Bay, and at the same time having access to the flatlands of the North Luzon Island. But geography here is not only a blessing, it can also be a curse. The same rivers and water lakes that make this region so prosperous also make it one of the most flood-prone regions of the world. So let's take a look at this map. The legend here says that the color yellow represents the flood-prone areas from 2 to 90-year flood cycles, and the blue areas represent the flood-prone areas for 90 to 100-year flood cycles. So let's see. The whole historic core of Manila is in great risk of flood, but we can see also that the center areas between the bay and the mountains are quite safe, but then again, the areas closer to the Laguna Lake are again in high risk. And this is especially aggravated by the fact that every year, the Philippines gets hit by at least one major typhoon that comes from the Pacific Ocean right into the main Philippine island chain. We can see that the orange and red colors represent the most catastrophic ones, and we can appreciate that the Philippines are right on the path where major destruction takes place. Luckily for Manila, it is not only protected by the bay, the Manila Bay, but also by the Sierra Madre. This mountain range has protected Manila, as we saw on the previous map, that major typhoons come from this direction, and that allows me to transition into another topic that I find fascinating about Manila, which is the tectonics of the ground beneath. You see, the Philippines are located right at the western edge of what is known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. This is a chain of mountain ranges and volcanoes that stretch all along the Pacific Ocean, and as you see, the Philippines are located on the western edge of its own plate, which is the Philippine plate. Let's take a closer look right here. You see that Manila is right where an active fault is located, and I found an even better map of this area so you can better appreciate how close Manila is to an active fault. This whole area right here is fully urbanized. Let's go back here to Google Maps. So roughly, this is where the active fault is located at. And one thing that really blew my mind when I was exploring this area is to find out how close Manila is to active volcanoes. You see, Mount Pinatubo, the one known for having one of the most destructive eruptions in recorded history, is right here, not so far from Manila. And Mount Tal, which is this one, erupted as recently as 2020. And here you see how massive the eruption was. However, volcanic activity has also blessed Manila with its astonishing views of Mount Mariveles, which on clear days can be seen from the other shore of the bay. Now let's zoom out and look Metro Manila as a whole. Here we can better appreciate how geography shaped Manila. But in order to better appreciate that, let's look for a second to its administrative divisions. Here we can appreciate that Manila proper is only the west center area, while the rest of the metro area is comprised of several little cities that have been annexed or even absorbed by the Manila urban area. This area is collectively known as the National Capital Region. Let's go back to the satellite view and let's explore Intramuros, which is the historic core of Manila. The defensive walls that were built when the Philippines were still a Spanish colony can still be appreciated, and from here the city started expanding in all directions. So let's start exploring a few of these cities more closely. Starting with Makati. Built on what used to be marshland, it has become the financial center of Manila. As you see in some areas, it is filled with American-style suburban houses with big lawns, maybe a few swimming pools here and there. And the other side of Makati is the financial center called Bonifacio Global City. All these shadows that you see here are from high-rises, the highest you will find on the whole country. Let's adjust the view a little bit so we can better appreciate these buildings in 3 dimensions. Yeah, like this. As you see, these are all the high-rises you see on the skyline of Manila. And maybe these ones too, or these ones. But no, here in Bonifacio Global City are the highest. Let's reset the tilt and let's go explore another city. In this case, Quezon City. So let's go there, Quezon City. Let's also check it here on the elevation map, because I want to show you something really interesting. As you see, Quezon City sits on a slightly higher ground than the rest of the city, especially Old Manila. So that helped it in the past to become the residential heart of the metro. This is also the area where many of the universities are located. As you see here, we can see the campus of the University of the Philippines. And going back to the satellite view, we can also see the Ateneo, the Manila campus, the UP campus. So yeah, this area is packed with institutions and monuments with historical meaning. Here lies the Presidential Car Museum. Now let's explore a city on the east, in this case Marikina. So if we go to the elevation map here, we see that Marikina sits on the area where the terrain drops back again almost to the sea level. Right here, 2 meters, is the elevation of Marikina. This means that this area is extremely prone to flooding because it sits in between these 2 relatively higher areas, the mountain ranges here and the highlands of Quezon City. And you can see why living in Marikina could be a little bit problematic, but still many people do. And you see this area is so densely populated. And last but not least, I would like to explore a little bit more in depth the feature that I think defines Manila the best, which is its coastline. As you see, this coastline is very developed, as many of these areas that you see here have been gained to the sea and have been redeveloped into marinas, waterfronts, ports, maybe a few commercial areas. This has been awesome the third places, the channel where we explore the world's most influential cities by diving into their unique geography, intricate urban layout, and all the cool third places that the city has to offer. If you want to help me keep their show running, you can do it through a YouTube membership or Patreon. Many thanks for your support on this project. See you in the next video. Cheers!